Hello and welcome to Watercolor Painting in the Afternoon. I'm Beth. On this rainy day, we can't really watch the Masters because they're not playing in this mess. So I'm going to do some bunnies. I think bunnies are so cute. And the way that I drew these, literally, I took a very soft pen like this with a brush tip. I put my tracing paper, I know I'm going to get grief for this, on my computer and used the screen as a light box. I don't bear down on the paper. I just hold it in place and barely sketch. And I get a perfectly good sketch out of it. And today I am going to just trace over these. I then took a very soft pencil, very soft leaded pencil, and I scribbled on the back so that there would be graphite on the back of it. And now I'm going to just trace my image. And it should leave a very light image underneath. Please don't let anybody tell you that this is cheating. It's not. Not cheating at all. To actually trace something. How do you think people learn how to draw? How do you think that happens? People trace things all of the time, and really good artists. And I know that I'm not one of those. I'm not like, oh wow, she's so great. I'm really not. I just do my best, and I do these YouTube videos so that you can see that other people are out there just doing their best, right? Just trying to get it right. And you know, learning as we go. I hope I never stop learning. Have not been doing this all that long. This is a hobby of mine, this little YouTube channel. I'm not really trying to be some great watercolor teacher or anything like that. I just enjoy doing this. And, you know, if that's something, if that's a, as they say, a journey that you'd like to come along on, then come along by all means. Okay, let's see. I think his eye was about right there. All right, then I'm going to come over here and do the next little bunny. We'll see what this looks like. Here's his ear. You can see that I kind of missed a line there. So I'll draw it in. Here's his little bunny butt. And his little haunch. And we'll see how this turns out. You can't see his front paws. I got these off Pixabay, by the way. And I can draw a rabbit, you know, I can. It just takes a little bit longer. He's just chomping on some grass over here. Then I've got this last little bunny. I think he's so cute, standing up there looking at you. Looking at you with his little bunny self. I hope you have good Easter plans for tomorrow. Maybe you have family coming. Maybe you have a big meal planned. Maybe you plan to go to church. I kind of hope you do. This is, for Christians anyway, this is the biggest Sunday of the year. A lot of people who don't usually come will come. And here we go. Here's this nice long bunny body. Okay, and he's got these little paws are hanging down here, and they're so cute. Look at that. He's just curious about something. I say curiosity killed the cat. I wonder about the bunny. So let's lift it up and see what we've got. Ta-da! And I even have a little bit of schmutz right there. There we go. There we go. Now, the question's going to be, now that I've got my bunnies drawn, what colors? And I think this little fellow is going to be a gray or black and white bunny. I forget what color he was online, but he's going to be a black and white bunny, and I've got to fix my This is a number 4 Princeton Neptune round. It's got a nice tip. You can see the nice little tip on it. And we're going to start with this one, with this little guy. I'm going to use some Payne's Gray. I don't know if you can see my palette or not, but I'll pick it up and I'll move it so you can see my palette. Let's put it right here. Let's get some Payne's Gray, and I think I just want to lightly outline my bunny for now and paint maybe the gray parts in. Let's really water that down, because if he's a black and white bunny, you can't really do white, because if you do, you're gonna get, it's just gonna blend in with the paper, and you won't know where your bunny is, where he started, where he stopped. So here we're gonna just kind of shade him in a little bit. And that's his little fuzzy head right there, so I don't want to get it too much into the head. There's his little backside. And it's kind of in shadow, so I did paint it maybe a little bit darker than I should have, but it's kind of in shadow, so that's all right. We can lift some of that paint out. There we go. Now he's going to keep coming around here. A little bit more. Very, very light color. Very light gray, because he's going to be white. A little white rabbit. And we can see that his chin's right here. So we're probably going to want to put a darker gray under his chin. I'm not going to do it just yet. But a little darker gray right in here. His little bunny feet. And under his chin. Okay. Now for the other white parts. I'm going to come down this way and just pull that gray down. Got to differentiate a little bit between the head and the back. So the back really kind of needs to be a bit darker. Really what I can do is just fill him in. Fill in his face, because the parts that are black are going to be just painted right over the gray. So why don't we just fill him in? Let's just do that. Okay, there he is. Now I want to come back with the darker grays and blacks. So more Payne's Gray right here. And yeah, he's still a little bit wet. So let's come under his chin. Let's be a little cautious. I'm going to be a little cautious, and I'm going to do some negative painting right along here. Okay? Yeah. And let's blend it down. So that helps you see his fuzziness. I love the technique of negative painting. I just think it does such a good job of defining. But your paper, you know, of defining where one line ends and another begins. But your paper really does have to be pretty dry. And because I'm in South Carolina, I know it's wet and cold today, but it still dries pretty quickly. We just do. We Southerners. All right. Oh, there he is. He's kind of emerging already, isn't he? Let's go ahead and get his little darker places right here. And again, a little negative painting so that you can see where he's got fur and where he doesn't. Right there on his little nose. And we're going to come around this way. Again, some more negative painting, because he's got a little spot right there. And that's cute. Oh my goodness. I just love bunnies. They're adorable. They're I mean, they're a little bit, I don't know. They kind of lack a lot of personality when you're just looking at them. But I'm sure if you own a bunny, the personality comes out. Just as soon as you learn who that bunny is, their little personalities come out, and it's true with almost any animal. And I suppose if your animal of choice is like some kind of insect, how do they have personalities? Anybody who's out there who just loves to have insects as their animal, as their pet, do they have personalities? Let's pull some shadow down this way. I'm going to get that wet so that it blends a little bit, because I think the shading that I have seems to be coming from that direction. So, and I'm leaving their feet a little bit, I'm leaving his feet a little bit lighter, because I think that it sticks out a little, you know, and it he may be, his feet may be in the sun a little bit more. Let's define some toes. Oh, he's cute already. All right. And I think he needs a little bit of definition over here on this ear. He needs a little bit of dark right in there. And maybe some shadow in here. See his little fuzziness. So we've got more shadow right in here. Okay, how cute. Maybe he's got a little spot back there. I'll let him have a little spot. And I'm almost done. I'm almost finished with this rabbit. I'm not going to do a lot of detail. These are just cute little doodles. Cute little doodles. Okay, now he's got a spot right here around his eye. Let's make that a little bit lighter. And to make it lighter, all I did was stick my brush in the water and just kind of drag the paint around, because I wanted that to be lighter. Okay, now I do want some definition here between the ear and the face, and I'll come back and get that. But for now, I'm going to come over here and paint this eye, because oops, that's a little bit dry. Your paint can get dry too, and then it creates a mess. So let's get this eye done. Oh, that wants to bleed a little bit. So you really do need to have it dry in certain places if you want it to work. And I was not patient, was I? No, I wasn't. And then over here, it's just a little bit of an eye. You can barely see it. Over here. Okay. And here we're gonna have, let's put it in a little bit darker. There we are. Oh, he's so cute. Here's his nostrils. And let's define that ear just a little bit more. And this one as well. Just make some little marks here and there. There's a little bit of a shadow right there. And a little bit more of a shadow maybe under his chin. Let's blend it out. Continue to blend it out. Just get clean water on your brush and continue to blend that out. Not too much, not too much. It's a game that you play with yourself. You're just trying to get everything right, and you're trying to make it look like you want it to look. A little bit of shadow there, and I bet there would be dark shadow right here. Okay. Oh, now that's adorable. I like it. I like my bunny. I'm going to outline just a little bit back here. Maybe we should outline him just a little bit, because we want to see where he is. And maybe even put just a little indication of some fur back here. Just a little bit. There's his little pumpkin head, and I want to make sure that that has some outline on it, because I want to be able to see where it starts. Here's a little bit more shadow right there. All right, I think he's done. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy over these things. I'm just going to do them one at a time. Well, this little fella, I think it's going to be a brown rabbit. And let's see what I can do with it. Oops, excuse me, sorry. See what I can do with some brown umber. Let's go ahead and wet the bunny down a little bit. Let's see what we can, let's wet him down. And the places where we want to paint right now. This paper is Gencraft's 100% cotton paper. It's not the most expensive paper, but I think it does a pretty good job, especially for these little illustrations. And you can, you know, you don't feel quite so bad about messing up if you do. And that spreads pretty well too, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay, I got out of my lines a little bit. Okay, that's okay. And my little bunny is going to come down here. And you know that there's going to be a shadow under his chin, and you know there might be some shadows on his haunch right there. And you know there might be a highlight here and there. So the question is, do you want your light to come from the same place across all three bunnies? And I think the answer is yes, because that kind of unifies the illustrations and makes them a little bit more believable. And let's put some starting shadows anyway, right under here, and a nice shadow on his haunch right there, right there. And that little bit of white space right there, I think I'd like to leave, because, and I may make it, I may not, it may get painted over, I hope not, but we'll see. He's got just a little bit of his tail showing right there. And then we have, okay. There we go. Some shadow under his chin. And we're gonna keep going here with his face now. We're gonna get the ear. I've got just a little bit of color on my brush. I'm not gonna take it off because I kind of want it there. Okay. This whole bunny is a brown bunny. I don't think they get enough appreciation, little brown bunnies. My sister and I had rabbits growing up. One was an albino, we named her Pinky, and the other was a brown bunny, and we named it Brownie. We were just very inventive with our names, weren't we? Yeah. All right. Brownie. Now let's give the face some contour. How to do that? I have messed up stuff like that so many times. It's kind of not funny. But we're going to start maybe with the ear, because there's going to be some shadow back here, and there's going to be some shadow along here. And I'm going to make that a little bit darker. I've got to come back underneath and make that shadow darker too. Let's create a shadow back there. And maybe we've got kind of a little shadow going on between his ears. I think there's going to be some shadow here. And you see I'm making just some little fur strokes. And I think perhaps There's a little shadow right under his eye. Okay. Well, he's a cute bunny. And maybe there's a little bit of pink in his ear. And I'm going to take some red and I'm going to add just a bit of the brown to it. And we'll see if we can't get some pink in that ear. Remember, these are just little illustrations. They just certainly don't have to be perfect. If you want perfect illustrations, I think maybe you need to go somewhere else to get them because I don't do those. All right. I'm taking too long on you, Mr. Bunny. His little tail's going to be darker brown there. And we'll give him some nice darks right under the chin. And right under the ear, because that would be in shadow as well. And then let's do, let's get that a little bit darker too. And maybe just a few little strokes of fur right in there. And then I want to do, let's make his nose right here. What we're going to do is just pull that down a little bit right there. It kind of, you barely see the edge of his nose, but you can see it. And let's make his eye the same Payne's gray as we did the other one. And if you mess up and you don't leave a highlight, you can go back in with a pen, with a white pen, and you can get that done. Now, I'm not going to put any really dark shadows on him like I would, you know, like for example in grays or blacks. I'm just using brown. That's the only color I've used except for his eye and except for his ear. That's the only color I've used, is the burnt umber. Let's give him just some little eyelashes right here. Oh, that's cute. Because he is a cute little bunny. Okay, and we're going to pull that shadow on over. There we are. Now he just looks adorable. All right, and you can put some, you can add some grass if you want to. Then I want to, just with a very damp, clean brush, blend that in a little bit. And then we're going to put maybe a little bit of a darker shadow right along that water line, because that's where his little haunch is. I'm taking entirely too long on this rabbit. I promised myself I wouldn't do that. See where that went. See where that took me, right? Just can't help myself. Got to play, I've got to fiddle. All right, I think I am going to leave him alone at that point. I can't, because this is not right. This is not right. I want to come in here with this a little bit darker. I just can't leave it alone. All right. Now let's let that part be in the light. And this part can be a little darker and in the shadow. We're just going to blend that in. All right, I think that looks better. That looks better. And we can also put our grasses there. If you want to put your grasses when he's just snacking on those grasses. There he is. Now our final bunny. And what should the colors be on this bunny? I don't know. Why don't we do him in, we could do a little bit of an unusual color. We could make him, we could do some blues. I don't know what that would do. Let's see. Maybe he's just in shadow a little bit. He's kind of, A blue bunny, I don't know. Doesn't look right, does it? Bunnies are pretty predictable in their colors. But maybe he's a white bunny, and so we need to paint him in shadows. And blue is a wonderful shadow color. So maybe he's a white bunny. Let's take some of that paint off of his forward paws there. And make sure that they are defined. And then yes, we can take a bit of the gray and add it in with the blue and get some of his shadows underneath the face. And on this side of his body, he's going to be a little bit darker because the sun again is coming this way, or the light source is coming that way. Not much there because I don't want it to blend in, bleed out into that too much. All right, now let's take care of his face. And to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and wet it down. Not with too much water because I don't want it to just be a mess, a hot mess, you know, go everywhere. But I'll tell you what, one of these bunnies is liable to be. It's just bound to be a hot mess. So, let's see. Okay, there he is. Oh, you're so cute. So adorable. I just love bunnies. Okay, let's pull this down because it's kind of, yeah, it kind of goes all the way down there. His chest right here. The shadows would be a little bit darker there. A little bit darker here. Mr. Bunny, we'll call you Blue. I'm so inventive, man, with his names. Blue Bunny. The Blue Bunny is going to get you. You ever watched that film, The Blue Boy? It had Emma Thompson in it, doing her little accent. She is so funny. All right, now, is it dry enough for me to come in here and let's just, yeah, I think so. Let's just start getting some shade in there. And right here. And right here. It's okay if it fades a little bit. And his little nose comes right there, and we're going to just put some shadow over this way as well. Okay. Oh, they're so adorable. I just don't want to clean up bunny pellets. I would have a bunny, but I don't want to clean up bunny pellets. And I'll tell you what, my cats would, they would eat the nice bunny, and that would not go over well with anybody in my house. None of us want the bunnies to be eaten by cats. Nice dark shadow between the paws and some darker shadows on this side of the rabbit. A little bit of a definition right there. And then, of course, more of a definition under his chin. And again, we can do some negative painting, get some of that texture of the fur. He is a little bit of a hot mess, but he's cute. I'm not gonna get too upset. He's pretty cute. Okay, and then we'll finish him off with some nice dark eyes. Really, his eyes are just a couple of little black slits on either side, and we can go back and clean those up later if we want to. If you want to go back and add, you know, you add your highlight later, perfectly fine. I think I will get just a bit of pink here and just stick it right in there. He does look a little bit on the gray side, so he's not really a blue rabbit. He's just that blue comes across very gray, I think. Okay. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this. I certainly have. And 3 little rabbits. You can use them any way you want. You can give them to somebody on Easter. I'm just blending out some of those hard lines. And, you know, do whatever you want to with them. Put them in your scrapbook. Do what you need. I didn't put any whiskers on these guys. That just would take too long. But thank you for joining me. 3 little Easter rabbits for a rainy day. Thanks for watching.